Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to our new students. Can we give all the new students a round of applause and a warm welcome? So I hope you guys enjoy the new den. So some of you have already commented and said, hey, how come those nice gray floors are not here anymore? So if you remember, those nice gray floors were all torn up and the paint was coming off. And so Mr. Mo did yeoman's work over the summer break, and you should have seen the amount of dust that was in the school and the amount of like water and sludge and disgustingness that was the den just a couple weeks ago. And so it's not quite done. We've got another couple coats of the brown to put on, and then the gloss will go on top of it, so we'll get a nice dark, deep, wet look. And so it should look very nice. In the meantime, please, let's when we're having lunch here, let's try to make sure that we don't drop any ketchup and stuff on it, because this is not sealed yet, and so the color will come off. So, which is actually kind of cool, because that means that we might actually, in the next couple days, we might be able to put down a nice little design here. So, we're going to introduce teachers in a second here, but Mr. Hyde is already starting to think about how he can do some cool patterns and things, and perhaps even get a cool line or something right smack here in the center. So if you look over there, you'll see the squares. When you guys did photos, there's 2 squares that are on the floor. The tape that was on the floor actually pulled up the color, so we can do some cool things with that. Alrighty, so let me explain what the rest of today is going to look like, and then we'll do some introductions, and then we're going to have the main event. Oh, I didn't finish saying. So this is the new layout for the den, which I think is pretty darn cool. So hopefully you guys notice that I get to be close to every one of you in this room right now. We don't have people hiding way off in the corners anymore. So this is going to allow us all to be much more engaged. It's got that kind of circle feel, which means that we're all equally important. We don't have people sitting on tables, and we're all the... Somebody sitting on the table? Oh, Mr. Patero. It's okay. He can be more important. So that's one of the kind of one of the most important things that I think is that I've been trying really hard to get all of the teachers and the new teachers to understand about education, is that when we're in a circle, we're all the same. All of our ideas are important. So I'd prefer that you guys don't try to hide. Don't try to hide off in a corner where maybe somebody's not going to notice you, because all of our opinions matter, and all of our voices matter. And so so today we're going to have our first passion talk, and I want to make sure that all of you guys are participating in that passion talk, and that you guys are engaged, because we're doing these for you guys. So, a couple things before we get started. So, anytime we have an event like this, these are technology free. So let's make sure that cell phones and earbuds and all those kinds of things are put away, because our goal, at least for the 8 hours that you guys are here at school, is for you guys to be connected to the community that's around you. Stop trying to go and live inside this virtual world inside your phones. Stop trying to avoid interactions with others. This is a good time for us to learn how to actually become a part of society. And so, especially in these passion talk times, or these all roars, we want to make sure that everybody's engaged and everybody's part of what's actually happening, part of this experience. And so one thing that's going to be really a huge difference this year with the Passion Talks is that the Passion Talks are for everybody now, including the teachers. And so when we have Passion Talks, and we're not going to have as many of them, probably one every 3 weeks, maybe one every 4 weeks. So we're not going to have as many of them, but when we have them, everybody's going to be part of it. And it's going to be a shared experience that we as a school have, and hopefully the lessons that we learn in the Passion Talks can then expand into the lessons that we learn in the actual classes as well. So that's one of the major differences. Does anyone remember what I said before I introduced teachers? I was going to talk about something. I don't remember what I was going to talk about.
The floors?
The floors?
You need some pulp. He needs to write on his palm sometimes. Yeah, exactly.
The schedule!
Oh, the schedule. Thank you.
Oh, boy.
Together we can do this. All right, waterfall, guys.
I like it better the first time.
What's the camera on us?
Yes.
You know you want to read.
Okay, waterfall, guys. Okay, yeah, so the schedule for today. So after we do our introductions and we meet all the new staff members and also for the returning staff members for our new students, we are going to have our very first passion talk. That'll take us up to lunch. We're going to have normal lunch period. And oh, actually, for those students who are new, let me just explain lunch. So you've got lots of different options for lunch. So you can be in here in the den. You can be outside within the the view of the front doors there. You can go down to the park, and Coach Brown will be down there in the park. You can. You're welcome to be upstairs in the hallways. You're welcome to be in a teacher's classroom, assuming that the teacher is in there. You are not welcome to be midway between here and the park. So we're either at the park or we're here, but we're not kind of in the intermediate zone. You're allowed to walk through it, but please don't dilly-dally there. And I think that's it. Lots of options. Park is fun. I encourage you guys to go to the park, get some sun. Not the apartments. Even if you live in the apartments, you are not allowed to go home without permission. And you're not allowed to bring all your friends over to your house. Mom's not allowed to make lunch for all you guys. There is not, so for those of you who did not read my email that I sent out yesterday, there's not going to be lunch here for at least a week. Hopefully we'll get it up sooner, but I'm not going to commit to anything for the first 2 weeks. So make sure that you're bringing bagged lunch to school.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So last year we had like in between the school starting and ending.
Oh, you know what? Let's actually, can we have the ball mic, please?
Got it. Let's go. You may want to explain what it is, Dr. McCurdy.
Oh yeah!
Okay, I'm just making. Okay, because like this thing.
That thing is throwable.
This thing.
Just don't hit the roof.
I mean, it just kind of like dropped out. Like.
Oh my God, just throw it.
Like
You may want to explain the. Dr. McCurdy, you may want to explain though that it kind of mutes.
Testing. So last year we had like.
Guys, he's got a mic and I still can't hear him.
Okay, so last year we had like the stuff where you could buy Oreos and whatever in there, and non-lunch food, like regular school lunch food.
Oh no.
Is that still there, or what's the deal with that?
So I'm confused because last year that did not happen. There's no buying Oreos.
Give me the ball. We had a papa in there. No. I don't even need to like do all the food in there.
Okay, waterfall. Okay, let me explain. So this is actually much better. So the reason I'm challenging you is because we've always had an issue where we could not compete with the school lunch. This year, there is no quote-unquote school lunch, so there is no challenge with us competing with the school lunch, which means that we get to serve whatever we want. Now, notice that I said whatever we want.
We get to vote on it. Oh
So
no!
you guys have seen what I eat. I eat salad.
Oh no! Oh no! I knew how this was gonna
So
end.
what I'm envisioning that we have lots of really yummy salads, water,
Oh, I should.
maybe some green tea. Okay, but so in all seriousness, guys,
I should have shown my feet.
waterfall.
Done this on my feet. That would have been hilarious.
So in all seriousness, we are going to have other kinds of foods. There will be pizza and things like that, burritos. But I am a health nut, and so we're not going to be selling crazy big monster drinks and all the stuff that maybe you guys remember from the Cave Cafe a while ago. But it will be much better than it was last year. And you guys can always petition to have foods if you want a particular kind of food, but just know that I'm always going to be looking at it through a health lens as well.
All right. So for like,
You need the mic.
I would love that mic. Pass it on. Oh yeah. So for like 3 people that remember the Cave Cafe, can we actually call it the Cave Cafe? No. No. No.
Don't start chanting.
Petition.
Sure.
Don't talk into
And can we get that like collapsible stand where it makes like a little like troll cave for the food?
No.
Okay. So we're getting.
I got demands, man. Come on.
So we're getting distracted here. So so remember that we're supposed to be talking about what the plan is for today. So after the passion talk, after lunch, then we're going to be going through rotations. There's 5 rotations. We're going to be talking about passion talks, passion projects. We're going to be talking about the supports that we provide. We're going to be going through the program of academic study, the technology use plan, and anti-bullying. So those are going to be our 5 rotations. Last year we had many more rotations, and this was the entire day. This time it's 20-minute presentations, 5 of them for the last 2.5 hours of the day. So should be nice and quick. We heard your complaints last year about it being too long, so we've tried to streamline it a little bit this time. All right, so that takes us through the day. So notice, no class today. Yay. Notice also, so I'm way ahead of you guys. I did not send this in an email last night because I knew if I sent an email that there wouldn't be any class today, you guys wouldn't be here. So,
Yep. Smart.
all right. So we're going to quickly go through introductions because I want to make sure that we have plenty of time for our Passion Talk speaker. And I'm going to introduce that Passion Talk speaker later. Will be a little bit of a surprise. So let's do some introductions. I'm going to start with. Should we start with the new teacher? No, we're just going to go in order like this. So I'll have the teachers introduce themselves, and I guess we'll start with Mr. Walsall.
Oh no, don't you dare. Wait, but he's the only one that got it launched.
Alright, so, as already stated, I am Mr. Walsall, or Mr. W, whichever you prefer. I am teaching biology, a new biotech that's different from the one last year, and space science. And in a very large departure from what I was originally going to be doing, I will also be teaching forensics this year.
So guys, so second period, Mr. Walsall's class is now forensics. Open. So originally it was a freshman only class, but we had too many conflicts with other freshman classes, so he couldn't get a full class. And so this is a new option, forensics. So if anyone wants to swap into forensics, make sure you come speak to one of us. And we've got Mr. Hyde, one of our new teachers.
Hi everybody, for those of you who haven't met me, I'm Mr. Hyde, I'm the new art teacher, so I will be teaching first period drawing, in third period I'll be teaching 3D graphics, and fourth period two-dimensional design. So if any of you guys are taking my class, we're going to have a great time, it's going to be fun. Thanks.
Okay, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Miss Lochran, and I teach physics, first period physics, second period chemistry, and this year I'm teaching a new class called Introduction to Science and Engineering. So, well, I don't know, I think it's going to be fun. So, and that's for freshmen only. So, thank you very much.
Oh no. Thank you. For once, I have a
I'm Mrs. R. Yeah. I'm not scary. I promise I'm not scary.
You pissed her off.
I'm one of the special education teachers here. I will be working with Mr. Gandara and Ms. Djukanovic in teaching a study hall. All right?
He teaches robotics. I heard someone here.
This place is pretty cool. My name is Mr. Montello. I am the new robotics teacher and sysadmin teacher.
Oh,
I'm also an academic coach, so I'm here to help support you guys, cheer you on, keep things going smoothly. I've worked in industry making missile parts, and so I've worked on some pretty cool stuff. So if you ever want to talk about robots or missiles or rockets in general, I'm super excited. And I'm also going to be Mr. Walsall. I'm going to be building some epic rockets. It's going to be good.
Oh no, no, no. It's gone. I think you got
good morning. Good morning. My name is Mr. Gandara.
Yeah.
So I'm a social science teacher. I have second period U.S. history, third period U.S. history, fourth period documentary design, and fifth period big history. So I think we should have a lot of fun. Go Seahawks! I see one over there. There you go. Thank you.
This is gonna be a long day.
Hi, my name is Ms. Castro. I'm an academic coach, and this year I'll be helping Ms. Barrios in Spanish, and leadership with Ms. Geis, and space science.
Morning, everybody. My name is Mr. Murphy. I've met some of you already. Looking forward to meeting the rest of you. I am one of the new 2 new math teachers. I'm in Mr. Berger's old room. This year I've got geometry, first, second, and fifth, and third period is going to be flex math. So looking forward to a great year.
Hey guys, good morning. My name is Mrs. Romero, and I'm your friend of school psychologist. I feel like a rock star. And I am going to be advising peer counselors this year, and you guys are going to learn about that in our rotation. So I look forward to working with you guys this year. Thank you.
Oh no.
Thank you. Wow, it is like a rock star. So I'm Miss S. I am an academic coach here at Set High. It's my second year. I'm also the advisor for GSA on campus, and you'll learn about that in peer counseling as well.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah.
Good morning. Thank you. My name is Mr. McClendon, or I am here to support each and every one of you. So if you don't know, I'm the assistant principal here. I'm an educator. You can skip the assistant principal, but I'm here to support all of you guys.
No.
I'm just here looking for a scooter. It says the scooter's here.
Hey, don't steal like mine.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
So I am Coach Brown. Many of you have already met me. I actually don't work here. I just show up every day. Athletic director, the guy who controls the air, the guy who leads you to class, the guy who will talk to you if you need anything. I actually talk about everything. Everything. Uncomfortable or not, everything. Everything. And I'm also the ASB coordinator. So if you guys have... One thing about ASB, we will be having elections within the next 2 weeks. So before September, if you are running for something, come see me so we can get your speech together. We will have speeches this year. And get ready. All right, so I hope you guys are having a great day. It looks like it, and continue to have fun. Next time I want to talk on the ball mic.
Yeah! Ball mic!
Good morning. My name is Ms. Gibson, and I teach English 10, 11, and 12, and so you will see me at some point this term. And I'm just really excited to be here. I am also the mock trial teacher coach for this year's Set High mock trial team. This is our second year doing it, and we're going to compete in February, so wish us luck.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Miss Burge, and I'm a new special education teacher here. A lot of you will see me in English class. I'm teaching with Miss Gibson and Miss Lennon. So looking forward to a great year.
love y'all. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Mrs. Geis, or Mrs. G. I earned the ring, so Mrs. Okay, I earned that. So I teach leadership, set style, and strength of mind and body. And this year I'll also be the girls' basketball coach.
This is so gonna be a long day. You're sweating already?
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. I'm Miss Marquez. I see a lot of familiar faces, but I also see a lot of people I haven't met yet, so I look forward to meeting all of you. I'm an academic coach, and this year I am teaching communications for first period, so if I have you in my class, I look forward to meeting each and every one of you. So thank you.
Where's Miss Farias?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Ms. Farias, and I will be teaching Spanish 1 and 2. And I'm also an academic coach. I'm going to be working with Ms. J in Spanish and Ms. Lochran.
Thank you. I'm Miss Lennon, and I teach English 9 and English 10. So I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of you. I also teach ELA support as well. So come see me if you need any help.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mr. Botero, Mr. P. I teach, this is my third year at SET. I'm teaching computer science, algebra 2, and pre-calc and flex math. So if you have any math questions or anything like that, feel free to come by. And I teach statistics in the fall, which is really fun. So looking forward to a good year.
You better be done.
Hello.
안녕하세요. Okay, yeah, some people, okay, get it. You don't speak Korean? I thought all of you speak Korean.
Nope.
Okay. Alright, I'm Mrs. Joe. I'm a new teacher. Oh, thank you. I'm a math teacher. I'm at the Mrs. Harper room. And if you need any help, just come and talk to me. And if you like K-pop, talk to me. Anime, talk to me. Korean, talk to me. K-pop, dance, cover, whatever, anything, come and talk to me. And I also like fashion, so come talk to me. Woo!
Good morning. My name is Miss Bush, and I'm a co-teacher here. I will be co-teaching with Mrs. Joe for Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 this year.
Hello everyone, my name is Miss Lepe. And I will be with Mr. Murphy most of the day, and with Mr. Botero for Algebra 2.
I'm so humble. Hi everyone, I'm Miss Jokanovic. Jokanovic, not Miss J. Just kidding, you can call me Miss J if you have. This year I will be teaching 2 courses of government economics and world history 4th period and Spanish 1 5th period. So you're probably going to have me in one of those classes. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Hines. I used to work in the classroom and now I'm in the front office. Thank you.
Hello, hello, what up children? My name is Ms. Heath. I'm new, so be nice to me. You can start being mean to me maybe next semester, but if you need anything, Ms. Hines and myself are at the front office, and have a great school year.
I think that's...
Miss Trish? Miss Trish upstairs? Okay. So now we're going to have each of the students introduce themselves. Just kidding.
You better be.
This is actually going to be an 8-hour all roar. I need each of you guys to prepare a 5-minute presentation.
Oh, God.
Okay, so I'm going to try to stall for 2 more minutes until Miss Domingo comes down. That's Miss Trish. I don't know if she was going with by Miss Trish or Miss Domingo.
Trish! Poor Neil.
Okay, so while we're killing time here, let's just talk. So how you doing?
No, that stays off.
Oh, there she is. All right, Miss Trish.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to see everyone, and I was greeted with a cake from Trinity. It's so awesome. So I have a whole cake upstairs, and yes, and I really missed everyone as I look around the room. Okay, so I don't even know what to say, but I'm not going to be, oh, my job. I won't be in the front office, so I'll be working on the website. We're just talking about it upstairs. I kind of want to have someone do a commercial for us, and I want to do, because I want spots on TV, so we can show our business on TV. So I'll need lots of actors. But I'll be working more with your parents and other fun things. I was talking to people last night about new internships, so I have connections to new companies as of yesterday. So I'm really excited about doing this new position, and I'm still upstairs in Miss Ross's old room, so come visit me, and yeah, thanks.
So speaking of commercial and selling our school, so thank goodness. No. Selling the school to other families. Marketing, guys. So guys.
It's gonna be $1.
So guys, waterfall, please. So thank goodness we just recorded that, because that was amazing. So your guys' reaction to our staff here speaks exactly to what our school is. And so if we've got this much love for our teachers, new students, this must be one heck of a good school, right? So, got a question. You want the mic?
I don't have much, but I see why it's called Roar now.
So are these serious questions, guys?
Where's the ball?
Yeah, I think we got as much as we're gonna get. Okay, serious question, and then we're doing our passion talk.
So who's going to be the new lunch lady?
So new lunch lady is, so first of all, it doesn't have to be a lady. The lunch person.
You gotta wrap this up, dude. It's getting dead.
Our new floors are already being contaminated. So the new lunch person is Miss Hines. So she's taking over for Miss Jessie in the front there. So. Okay, we all good? We're ready for a passion talk? Okay. So it is my extreme privilege to introduce our first passion talk speaker. And that's one other job that Miss Trish has, by the way. She's also booking the passion talk speakers. But it is my privilege to introduce our very first passion talk speaker. Our very own Mrs. Geis.
So I want to try something real quick because I use my hands a lot when I talk. So.
Can you hear me?
What? I got you. Turn it off though. Yep. Alright, cool.
I'm so grateful. I'm really, really grateful to be here with you. This has been a journey, just like all of our lives are a journey. This has been a journey for me. When I was sitting in your seats, when I was a high school student, I would never even dream of the possibility of getting up in front of all of you and speaking. I was extremely shy. I'll tell you more about that later. I lacked a ton of self-esteem, and I just was a quiet student. I did what I had to do, played a couple sports, got good grades, all those things, but I never thought I would be a teacher. I never thought I would be a speaker. So if you're sitting here right now, and you're thinking to yourself, I could never do that, you're wrong. You just are. Because I was right there too. Never, ever, ever. The kids I went to school with, some of them, I was like, be a teacher and teach these kind of people? No thanks. So the fact that I'm here standing up in front of you today has nothing to do with, oh, you know, well, she's always been a good speaker. Not true. She's always been confident. Not even close to being true. This has taken work. And even right now, my heart is pounding. And I know most of you. And I was excited for this. And still, my hands are shaking. And my heart is pounding. So you can do this too. Just because I do this doesn't mean I don't get nervous. It doesn't mean I'm still not that shy person sometimes. So I just want you, the first point I just want to make is you too. Whatever I can do, you can do it too. If I can stand up here in front of all of you, you too. Okay? It is possible for you to be able to do this. I'm really honored to be at Set High in particular. I'll tell you more about my story in a little while, but I struggled a lot with my own identity, who I was growing up. All of us have all these different identities. But in particular, I personally I just really didn't feel good about myself. And so now I'm here at Set. And at Set, I can be exactly who I am every day. So can you. My advisory, yeah, give it up for it. It's because of the people here. It's because of the teachers here. It's because of the administration here. It's because of you that I can do that. So I thank you for that. That it feels good to be in a place where I can be 100% authentically myself every second of every day. And I want you to know that you can be that as well. This is a huge time of discovery for all of you. A huge time of discovery. You're figuring out who you are, what you're about, what you really want, what your passions are, what you're not passionate about at the same time. Right? This is that time for you. And I guarantee you, we have the people in place to help guide you in your time here with us at Set High. So I'm glad you're here. And it's an honor. It truly is an honor to be here at Set and to be the first Passion Talk speaker. This is something that I've been dreaming and working for. So to be here in front of you, I speak at other schools as well, but the truth of the matter is this is where I love to speak. So this was the most exciting for me of any of my talks at any point in time. And I love you all truly. Those of you I haven't met, I still love you. I start with love, and then if you mess up, then we go in another direction. But so, a little bit about me. I grew up in Spring Valley. Anybody know where Spring Valley is? East County. All right. So, like the fourth of the room. That's all right. So, where I grew up in Spring Valley, this is what was told to me as a kid growing up in this area. Okay? I would either end up on drugs, in jail, or dead. Those were the expectations they had of me. I grew up with a single mom, right? I'm mixed, black and white. That's my race. Ethnicity is a whole other thing. Even my leadership class will talk about that. But I'm biracial. I'm black and white. But I grew up with only my single white mother. So a single white mom raising a biracial child in Spring Valley. If you look up success, my picture wasn't in it. That's just what people thought. Those were the expectations I was given. On drugs, in jail, dead. Well, I'm not dead. Right? Unless I'm undead, which is a whole other topic of conversation. I'm still here. I've never been locked up. And actually, I've never done a drug. So, they were totally wrong about me. low expectations, you don't have to live to those. It is your choice. I know there are people in this room right now who grow up currently in the same neighborhood I grew up. Some of you have tough backgrounds, tough home lives. Maybe people have low expectations of you. Use that as fuel to the fire of why you succeed. Because I was told the same thing, and yet I'm standing here with you today. So please do not listen to any sort of low expectations anybody puts on you. And please do not put them on yourself. You are capable of more than you possibly think. I know I am. So if I am, you too. Did anybody in this room love middle school? Raise your hand. Hands down. That's way more hands than I usually get in a room. I'm going to tell you this right now. None of the adults in here raised their hand. Unless they were like doing one of these things, like the half raising your hand. No, no. Any good experiences in middle school? Well, so, me neither. So, middle school is a tough time for all humans. It's just tough for a lot of reasons. If you had a good middle school experience, congratulations. You are a rare human. Okay? For me, I was made fun of by these two kids every single day. 6th and 7th grade. They were 1 year older than me, so thank goodness when I was in 8th grade, they were already in high school, and 8th grade was the best year out of the 3. But 6th and 7th, and my mom didn't know this till later because I hid it from her. In 6th and 7th grade, I was bullied every day. I cried every single day. And every time I tell that story, I still can feel the feelings of being bullied right now. And that was a long time ago for me. Okay? Middle school was a long time ago for me. Y'all weren't even glimmers in your parents' eyes. Okay? For middle school for me. So they made fun of me for several reasons. They made fun of the way that I dressed because I loved just shorts and a t-shirt. I was an athlete, so I dressed like one. I had really bad acne on my face. My face was always covered in a bunch of pimples, and I despised looking at myself in the mirror because of it. And they jumped on that. They called me pizza face because it was really red, and they just harped on every single flaw they could think of. They made fun of my hair. I didn't have an afro, so take it easy. Now I have an afro, so you know. It's all good. But back then, I had what I call a fro lip. I'll explain to you what that is. Has anybody, you've seen a fro, has anyone seen a mullet before?
Wow, this is new.
Hey, we all have bad haircuts once in a while. Maybe many times. Here's the deal. I started playing softball when I was 9. And in Spring Valley, nobody around me had any money. So the softball league that I played for, we all shared helmets. So another girl on my team got lice. Oh. So then I got lice. My hair is very thick. One strand of my hair is thick. You can like use it as, you know, like pole vault or something. Like it's super thick, right? Wow. So my mom is crying, like trying to dig through my hair and get the lice out. It was a mess. She was crying, I was crying, it was a mess. It was one of the few times my dad actually came over to do something about something. Good job, Dad. So he came over and he went into our junk drawer in our kitchen and took out a pair of scissors. Oh no. And he started chopping off my hair. I'm crying, he's like, stop crying, get in the shower, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, okay. Mind you, my dad is like an IT guy, he works on computers. He's not a hairdresser.
Oh boy.
So what was left on the top of my head was a fro lip. So this hair curly, but in the shape of a mullet. It was bad. But that was no reason for them to bully me every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, was my hair ugly? Yup. For sure. My mom has these pictures of me with a fro lip. I'm like, why? when you've been bullied, you've been put down, anybody has said anything negative about you, me too. And still I'm here. And see, I never stood up to those bullies. I never knew what to say. I didn't know how to feel good about myself when these two kids seemed to make it their goal, their job every single day to make me feel bad. How do you possibly feel good about yourself when these two kids were making me feel so bad? It wasn't easy. It was very, very hard. It's one of the big reasons I struggled with my self-esteem for a long time. See, you can have an effect on someone's self-esteem. At the end of the day, it is our job, our personal job, to develop a strong sense of self so you can have self-esteem, a healthy amount of self-esteem, but we can help each other or hinder each other from that being the case for each and every single one of us, right? So you can have an effect on someone else's self-esteem. These two kids had a major effect on my self-esteem. And I vowed, knowing how bad that felt, that I would not do that to anybody else. Now, am I perfect at that? No, I am not. There's nothing perfect about me at all. I'm imperfect, just like everybody in the room. I'm willing to learn, though. I'm willing to get better. And I'm willing to make sure that nobody in here feels the way that I felt every day for 2 years by those two students. The question is, will you commit to that same thing for yourself and one another? That is up to you. We hope that's what you choose to do, because that's what we're about here at Set High. All right? That's what we're about here. But it is up to you as to the effect that you have on other people based on how you do. Now, at some point in time, I did have to find my voice. I had to find a way to stand up for myself. See, finding your voice, right, that was a class that I taught last year. But finding your voice isn't an option. It's not an option. You can't say, oh no, I'm not going to find it. You have to find it. It's a must. Or else, the entire world is going to speak for you. See, and when we're young, sometimes we think we don't have a voice. When I was young, I didn't feel like I had a voice. Clearly, y'all know I have a voice now. But it took work. It took time. So give me some people, things that may try to speak for you right now in your lives. Parents. Parents? LT?
Like, kind of, sort of, in a way.
Yep, absolutely. I told my students all last year, I'm programming you every day. I'm conditioning you every single day. Yes, teachers for sure. What else? Who else? All right, parents, we got teachers. The internet, social media, co-workers, friends, society, yes, all of those. All of those. So, here's your choice. Right? When people talk about your generation, they say specific things about you. What are some of those things that you've heard about your own generation? What do they say, whoever they are?
We're all lazy.
Lazy, okay? What else, Jeremiah?
True.
What's that? On your phones too much. On your phones too much. Drea. Selfish. Joseph.
Disassociative.
Disassociative. Tell everybody what that means.
We're just trying to disconnect, get away from everybody. People just paint us all as introverts, even if we want to be extroverted and mingle with other people.
Yeah, painted as introverts, even if you want to be extroverts, because they say that you disassociate with people, you don't want to be around them, you isolate yourself out. You don't get jobs. Okay, you don't get jobs, or maybe switch jobs all the time. You don't sit. What do you mean? Like you don't at restaurants? You better tip. Okay, hold up.
If y'all don't tip, we're gonna have a long talk.
Hold on.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's my gas money.
Listen,
Really
if you cannot afford to give this is a mentor taught this to me. If you cannot afford to give a 20% tip when you go out, stay your butt home.
Yes, I want to thank you. Can I real quick?
No, this is why I'm saying this, because I have friends, I have family members who have been in the service industry, okay? If you cannot go out to eat and tip 20%, because check this out, you think the person being of service to you wants to put up with your stank attitude? No, they don't. You don't know how many terrible customers they have before you. All you can afford to do, because you're in control of you can make a server's day. We do it all the time. My wife and I, wherever we go, before we even order anything, like, how are you? How's your day? And they usually perk up and smile like, thank you for asking. Wow. Like, either my day has been going good or it's not good, but with y'all it's better. Right? So a little side tangent there, but an important one. So I know y'all are young. Most of you don't have jobs. So I get that. However, this is a part of being a kind, compassionate human being. If you're going to go out and someone is of service to you, you leave them tip, please. That's like life lessons. You're welcome. Yes, Joseph. He's going to give up. Look, Joseph. If you all don't know Joseph, this is Joseph. Hi, Joseph.
Hi, Joseph. Hi, Joseph.
So even though this is my passion talk, he's going to get super passionate. Go ahead, Joseph.
Don't applaud me. I talk too much as it is. I work in a restaurant too. A lot of people don't even consider how much or how important a tip is to a server. I have people who are like literally living paycheck to paycheck that I work with, that I have to support and try to help out and try to kick down some of my tips too. They live off tips. A lot of people just write it off as, oh, it's just like gas money, it's just like the little things. It's not. It's food, it's rent, it's everything. Tips really do cover it. That's why they're taking those jobs, and that's why they're working like doubles, taking on extra shifts, basically torturing themselves to be as nice of a person as possible and put on a personality to get the most tips in. They don't want to do that. They literally need to. They need that money in the first place. So if you're going to go in and just not support that, not be there to help that person, just don't go in anyway. That table's better reserved for somebody who's just, I can't find a better term for it, but that table is better served for a better person.
Yeah,
Someone more generous.
I think there's a point, again, we're on a tangent, we'll get back on, don't worry. But this is a part of your character, to me, in my opinion. In my opinion, how you treat other people wherever you go is the definition of who you are. If you go out to eat and you're a jerk, that's part of your character. Okay? The other piece about that is, how do you represent yourself and the people that have helped you get to where you are when you come to school, when you go to the mall, when you go out to eat? My coaches taught me at a very young age that no matter where I go, I represent everybody who has helped get me to that point in my life. So I better represent them well. So in my mind, I always have, my mom did all these things to get me here. Am I representing her well? My grandma was one of my favorite people on earth. Now she's one of my favorite people in heaven. How do I represent her? Do I represent her well? To all my coaches that have taught me all the lessons that they did, how am I representing them? To you, the students of Set High, when I go places, how do I represent you? To my colleagues, who I love dearly, how do I represent them? It's not just about you. You got to understand that wherever you go, you represent the village that helped raise you to get you to where you are, including when you go out to eat. It's about valuing other people. It's about valuing their time, valuing their service to you, and valuing the fact that Joseph's absolutely right. No matter where people work is for a purpose. There's a reason that they're there. Sometimes when they're serving, that might be where they're trying to go. They might be trying to get to upper management in that place, or that might just be a step along their path. Doesn't matter. When they're there, what they get paid like as a base is this. What they really count on is you giving them their tip to be able to survive, to feed their families, to feed themselves. Think about your character. Think about how much you value people wherever you go. Okay? We went on that tangent. We're back on. So, before I found my voice. Daniel, what's up? Go ahead.
Do you have to tip the cashier at like a Taco Bell too?
So that's a good question. So sometimes when you go to like taco shops, they have a little tip right? They have like a little tip jar. It never hurts to throw something in there.
Yep.
A lot of times at those places in particular, whatever's get put in that jar, it actually gets spread around everybody.
Gets pulled, yeah.
Right? So it really does depend on the establishment. Here's what I was taught, Daniel. Here's what I was taught. If you have it, give it. That's just what I was taught. If you have $1 in your pocket and you have it to give and put in that tip jar, give it. That's my philosophy. I'm not telling you you have to do that. I'm just telling you what I was taught. Right? So do you have to do it? No. You don't have to tip people when you go to a restaurant. Should you? I don't know. In my opinion, you probably should. So it's based on you though. At the end of the day, it's all up to y'all. It's really up to you. You make the choice. Okay? So, moving on. Before finding my voice, shy, no self-worth. I would literally look at myself in the mirror and then turn away. Just never saw anybody beautiful. I used to say often, why didn't God make me one of the pretty girls? Now, all my friends were pretty, in my opinion. They were. I was like, dang, I got good looking friends. You know what I'm saying? I still got good looking friends. Look at all these people. They good looking. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real about it. So, but I didn't see myself in that at all. There are still days to this day that I do not see myself in that manner. But especially when I was sitting in your seats. I had no self-esteem. People might have thought I did, just because I played a couple sports, I was on really good teams, I worked really hard, I was a pretty good athlete. People thought I had all this confidence, and really I had none. When I was out on the softball field, or on a basketball court, it looked like I had confidence, but actually I had confidence in my teammates. That's what it was. When I was around them, I did feel more powerful. I did feel more confident because of them, not because of what was inside me. So I just know how that feels. I know how it feels to not feel good about yourself when you look in the mirror. I know how it feels to not see yourself as one of the good-looking ones. I know how it feels to not want anybody to find out anything about you, so you stay hidden and in your shell. That's who I was. I didn't speak up for myself. I didn't speak up for other people. I just was really hidden. Everything about me was just hidden. It didn't feel good, but I was comfortable there. Then I realized I gotta speak up for myself. I have to speak up for others. That's actually what got me going. I remembered how it felt to be bullied. And I said, maybe I might not stick up for myself, but I will stick up for other people. So me and my friends at Mount McGill, we hung out in the middle of the quad. The school looks a little bit different now. But we hung out in the middle of the quad and we played hacky sack every day. And I called my friends the United Nations. So you had me, who was black and white. One of my friends was Filipino and Mexican. My friend Trinae was full black. We had a couple other friends, full white. My other friend was like Native American, black, white, and something else. Like, we just covered all of it. All of it. And I was happy about that. And we became this group of people that embraced the people that felt like they were outcasts. There was these two kids that a couple other groups of students would try to laugh at and stuff, and we would invite them over to us to play hacky sack. And when they saw that there was this group of us who was like, no, you're not going to make fun of our friends. That's not how this is going to go down. That's when I found my voice. So I didn't even find it for myself first. I found it because I wanted to make sure I'm sticking up for others. I don't know how you will find your voice. I have some tips that maybe can help you. But that's how I found mine. It was actually in standing up for others first. And then I started sticking up for myself. Because of a few different reasons. So number one is to own your story. Everybody say, own your story.
Own your story.
I was really quiet and weak. I I'm gonna pretend like that didn't just happen. I'm actually gonna rewind and come back over here. And I'm gonna go, oh, so there's these tips that I had for you to help you find your voice. The first one is own your story. Everybody say own your story.
On your story.
So, there you go. Own your story. You need to own your story. What is your story? I don't know. Some of you, I know what your story is. Your story is all the things. Your story is all the things that have happened in your life before this second. Everything. Everything that has happened in your life before this very second is your story. Every piece of your story is extremely important. Extremely. Because it has led you to be exactly who you are in this moment. See, some people want to forget all the struggles. They want to throw all of those away. You're like, oh no, I only want to remember the good stuff. Guess what? Life's easy when good things are happening. When you're getting good grades and everybody likes you and your teachers like you and your boyfriend or girlfriend likes you and your best friend and you are doing good, right? Like, everything's easy then. What about when things are a struggle? What about when home isn't great? What about when school is kind of going up and down for you? What happens when your best friend talks bad about you to other people and then wants to be fake to you in your face? What happens when your significant other decides, I don't want to be significant to you anymore? That's when you actually, oh, see, now everybody's like, ooh, remember that one time? Yeah, you all started thinking like, remember last year when so-and-so posted that on Snapchat? Oh my God. Right? See, but when those things happen to you, when times get really hard for you, when it isn't going well, that's when you actually see who you really are. How many of you in here play sports? Hi. Okay. What's up? Is eating a sport sometimes?
Competitive eating.
Hey, we're talking good to eat, you know. So look, even if you haven't played sports, you'll get this. Okay? The mark of a good team, in my opinion, is not how they act when they're winning. That's simple. Yeah, if you're winning all the time, that's so easy. But what happens when you lose? What happens when you lose a lot? Ice cream is good. I'm lactose intolerant, so maybe some coconut milk. So the mark of a good team is how they treat each other when things. I know y'all ain't talking when I'm talking. You know how much I deal with that. We're not doing that the first day, are we? We're not being disrespectful the first day. That's not what we do at SET, just so y'all know. Okay. So, the mark of a good team is how they respond when it ain't going well. Many of you were here the end of last school year.
Oh no, we're not going
We're not going to go into the details, but here's the point. When we had our backs against the wall, when people were tearing us down, when they were trying to separate us, and they were trying to destroy us, we stepped up, and now we have a new definition of who we are because of that. When everything was going good, oh yeah, what's up, said hi, blah, blah, blah. But when it came time, you showed up. Is that right or is it not? It's That's how you know you're part of a good team. Because when it was hard, we became closer. When it was hard, we came here more. Hours and hours more. When it was hard, we stuck together. Sign of a good team. The same thing goes for you as an individual. When everything's going well, okay, cool. But when things get hard, how do you respond? So you got to own your story. Say, own your story.
Own your story.
You got to own the good and the bad. We're here in this room right now with the struggle we went through. It's part of our story. It makes us who we are. And now we've gathered with new friends. Now we're even better. And we're even stronger. You got to own your story. Every piece of it. And see, I wasn't owning my story. I wanted to take little pieces out and not talk about it. Not think about it. And that was only doing me and everybody around me a detriment. Because everything that has happened to me, the fact that my dad wasn't there for me is part of who I am. When I struggled in school, it's part of who I am. I even had to own the bullying. They are no longer in power over me. I am in power over me. But that's part of my story. Some of you, many of us in this room, were afraid of our story. And I get that. I really honestly do. But until we own everything, we will never get to the true potential of who we are. We can't. You have to own it. If your life has been really hard up until this point, own it. If you have some things in your past you're not proud of, own it. I hurt people in my life. I'm not proud of those things. I'm not saying them to you because I'm proud of them. I'm saying them to you because once we own them, then we can become better and move forward. But if you don't name them, they stay on you like a sword. And they just keep on hurting over and over and over again because we haven't dealt with those things. We haven't admitted them. We haven't said we're sorry if we need to say it. You have to own your story. Every piece. The tragedy, the hard times, the hurt. We have to own it all. The next piece is admit your faults. Say admit your faults.
Admit your faults.
Listen. The amount of mistakes I've made in my life would be a whole nother passion talk. I've made a ton of them. I still do. There were mistakes I made as a teacher last year. I have to really acknowledge my faults, the things I didn't do well. And I need to apologize to the people that I may have hurt. Why? Why is that important? What's so important about admitting your faults? Is anybody, I'm not going to ask that because someone's going to be like, I'm perfect. There's nobody who's perfect. There's nobody in here who has not made a mistake. I probably made a mistake today. Okay? But you have to admit those things. You have to admit them. Because denying them and trying to move around them, it doesn't help. It doesn't help anybody. You have to admit your faults. You have to admit what you're not that great at yet. You have to take on the fact that you may have done things in your past that you're not proud of. Me too. There was a time in my life where I didn't even want to look myself in the mirror. There's been many of those. When I was younger, it's because I didn't like how I looked. In my early 20s into late 20s, it's because I hurt people. And I couldn't even look myself in the face because I was disgusted and disappointed. But now I can say that to you, knowing that I've worked to become a better person. You have to admit your faults. It's okay that you made mistakes. It's okay that we make mistakes. There's this story that I was told. Actually, it's just an analogy, but man, I feel like it's such a great one. So, even though we're admitting our faults, we can't stay in all the stuff that has happened to us. We can't stay there. We can't stay in all the struggles. We can't stay in all the hurt. We can't stay in all of that. Because if we stay there, how are we possibly moving to where we're supposed to go? How many of you are already driving or learning to drive? Okay, cool. How many of you have seen a car before? All right, good.
Seriously, every single person in this room better raise their hand.
So, in a car, okay,
Coming on camera.
you have a small mirror that sits up here. What's that called?
Rear view mirror.
Rear view mirror. That helps you look where? Right.
If she doesn't.
Now,
Excuse me.
if I drove only looking in my rear view mirror, what would happen?
Crash and die.
I wouldn't be driving, I would crash, I'd probably hurt some people, it wouldn't be good. Now, beyond the rear view mirror is a bigger piece. What is that? Windshield. That's the windshield. Where does that help you look? Forward. Okay. So in a car, the rear view mirror is small. You're not supposed to spend all your time looking back. I'm going to say that again. Yeah. I'm going to say that again. In your car, if you look in the rear view mirror to look behind you all the time, you're going to crash. And if you spend all your time looking back, so in your life, if you're spending all your time looking back, you're gonna crash. Whereas in front of you, there's all of these things. The windshield is so much bigger on purpose. Where are you spending your time? Are you spending your time in the rearview mirror looking back and wondering why you keep crashing? I don't know what's happening, Miss G. I keep looking in the rearview mirror and I keep getting into crashes. That's some of you in this room. You keep looking back. I did it too, though. I did it too. I was like, yeah, but my daddy wasn't there. Okay. Yeah, but what if people don't like me? People didn't like me back then when I was in 6th and 7th grade. They made fun of me. So why would they like me now? I spent a lot of time back. Think about what happened back then. And I wondered why I was crashing. Wondered why I wasn't advancing. Wondering why I wasn't getting to where I want to go. Sometimes I still do that to this day. I have goals and aspirations that I've wanted for a while, and I'm not there yet. You know why? Because I'm looking back. I'm looking back, and I'm scared. I'm looking back, and I think that because things didn't go well for me back then, because people didn't like me back then, because my daddy wasn't there for me back then, because I had no self-esteem back then, it prevents me from taking steps forward. I'm living in a fear-based mentality. How many of us in this room are walking around, driving in our lives, looking back, preventing ourselves from taking steps forward to advance and become the better version of ourselves? Yes. Oh, you're one of those people. Me too. Right? I'm one of those people too. Okay? The next part about this, so we got own your story, right? Admit your faults. The next one is embrace failure. Everybody say embrace failure.
Embrace failure.
Wouldn't this be really dumb if when we were babies, we crawl, right? Some babies don't. Apparently, my daughter, never mind. It's a complicated story. My daughter, she didn't crawl. That's the point. Anyway, moving on. A lot of us crawl. And then we stood up on our wobbly legs, held ourselves up, thought we was cool, and then boom, we fell back down. And then we tried it again, we stepped up, and then we actually tried to start the wobbly all smiling, and then boom, we hit the floor in front of us. Wouldn't it be real dumb if after that we was like, you know what, I'm never going to walk. It's never going to happen. Look, Mom, I wobbly, right? I keep falling on my face. Mom, I'm never gonna walk. Stop trying to make me walk, Mom. That would be so good. We don't do that though. We get back up and we do it again. We fall again. We get back up, we do it again till we can do it. What if you embrace the failure of falling down before you could walk in your life? What if you took that same concept? You would never give up and just throw in the towel and say, you know, I'm just going to crawl everywhere for the rest of my life. Just going to crawl. For a little amount of time, right? I would just, it didn't work out, maybe. But that's not our mentality. We know eventually, even if it's a struggle, we're going to walk. So what if you took that same mindset and you said, yes, I'm going to fall flat on my face going after everything I want, however, I'm going to do it anyway. What if that was your mindset instead? See, some of you walking around like, I'm bad at math, I can't write, I can't do this. Yeah, yet, Mom, I'm crawling, stand up, wobbly legs, right? Mom, I can't walk, yet. Embrace the possibility that it's just like when you're going from crawling to standing to walk. That is life, my friends. And if you do not embrace failure, you will not be successful. There's no other path to success except in failure. You have to fail. Here, we embrace failure. We embrace it. Okay? If you're failing, but there's effort there, you're trying, you made this mistake, so you don't make that one anymore, so now you're making this mistake, and then you don't make that one anymore, then you make this one, and you're on your way forward, we embrace that. If you're lazy and apathetic, we don't embrace that. That's different. You have to embrace failure as part of the process. You have to. Any person that has accomplished anything in history, anything big, was willing to fail more than anybody else. There's a song by Macklemore that he talks about the great painters and artists weren't great because they, just like it came easy to them. They're great because they painted a lot. Some of y'all try something new, it doesn't go well for you, so you quit. Sometimes I do that too. I have this dream, this goal of having an inspirational clothing line. I told many of the people in this room about it. And yet, every time I go to take a step, I talk myself out of it. Oh, no one's going to like it. No one's going to wear my clothes. It's not going to mean anything. I start going back in here. I haven't been willing to fail. So I'm sitting here telling you this, but I'm also telling myself the same thing. To embrace failure. We must be willing to fail in order to advance. It takes work. Right? It takes work. Okay? We have to fail. Just every time you start to want to give up and say, I'll never be able to do that, I want you to think about the fact that you were crawling first, then you were wobbly next, happy for a couple steps, face planted next, and then you can walk. That's life. Do that. Okay, so we got, what was the first one? Own your story. What was the second one?
Embrace your faults.
Embrace your faults. 3. Embrace failure. Embrace failure. So admit your faults, embrace failure. Right? All of those are highly, highly important. The next one, commit to growth. Say it. Commit to growth. Commit to growth. Always get better, always learn. One of my mentors said, if you're green, you're growing. If you're ripe, you're rotting. If a fruit ripe, what happens after it's ripe? It rots. But when a fruit is green, it's still growing. Always be green. Always be green. This is not the only place for you to get an education. In the classroom is not the only place. You're going to get an education here. I guarantee you that with the people we have present in here. You will get an education if you choose to listen and choose to apply yourself and embrace all the things we just talked about. You got it. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my heart. Okay? No doubt about it. But you have to know that you have to learn outside the classroom too. You should be learning when you're eating lunch together. You should be learning in the hallways, talking to each other. You should be learning when you go to the mall. You should be learning, always. There's always more knowledge to have. No one ever knows everything. Nobody, ever. There's too much information coming to us fast to ever know anything. So commit to growth. Get better. Always. I finished school a long time ago. I'm telling you right now, I've learned more after my last class in college than I did in all my classes. I was still that shy, insecure person in college. I learned so much. Learn from the people around you. Learn from the video games you play. Learn from YouTube. Learn from people. Learn. Always be growing. Commit to growth. Say it one more time. Commit to growth. Commit to growth. You gotta just always be learning. When I was in high school, I struggled. I struggled in school. All my friends, like a bunch of the people I hung out with, school came so easy to them. It pissed me off so much. Like, how are you just good at that naturally? That's annoying. I have to study for hours and hours and hours, and you just come in like, oh yeah, I got it in. What? I had to work really hard. Even to this day, I struggle with reading comprehension. We actually were doing a mandated reporter training, and people started finishing before me, and I started to panic. I'm 38. I started to get fidgety. I couldn't concentrate because people were getting done, so they were starting to have conversations. I had to pick up myself and move myself in another room. And then I saw people leaving. I was like, everybody's done. I'm not done. I started to get nervous and anxious about it. At 38. So I know that sometimes things are a struggle. Sometimes school is a struggle for you. But you cannot stop. You cannot give up. You can't give in. Be allergic to giving up. When someone says, oh, why don't you just give up? Run away. Run the other direction. Don't even have a give up bone in your entire body. Be allergic. Don't have that as a part of what you ever do. Am I sometimes riddled with some fear about my clothing line? Yes. Do I sometimes let fear keep me from doing what I really want to do? Yes. Am I giving up? Heck to the no. Never ever. I just can't do it. I just can't. Commit to growth. Commit to getting better. And the final one in this path of finding your voice, of becoming closer to being the authentic version of yourself, is to choose to love. Everybody say, choose to love.
Choose to love.
You know the first person you need to choose to love?
Yourself.
You got it. And that's all, oh yeah, Mrs. G, we heard that before, love myself. I'm serious. There is nothing joking and nothing cliche about what I'm telling you right now. I did not love myself when I was young. I did not love myself when I was in high school. I loved pieces of what I could do. I loved that I played sports. I loved that I was surrounded by good teammates, so we were good as a team. I loved that I wrote poetry. I never let anybody read it, but I loved that. See, you didn't even know. Because I don't tell people everything. That's still my own insecurity. When I was a kid, I wasn't good at communicating. I wasn't good at telling people how I felt. Wasn't good at standing up for myself, so I wrote it in poetry. That's how I was able to get through things. And if that's one of your ways, we all got to find our ways of how to deal with some of our emotions sometimes. If you got to write them down, do that. How many of you were at Set High's graduation from our senior class last year? How many of you were at graduation? Class of 2018. Class of 2018 graduation. How many of you were there? All right. So, Dr. McCurdy gave a speech that changed my life. It changed my life as a teacher, especially. He talked about the fact that you have to pay attention to your emotions and your feelings, and you can be feeling two what seem to be opposite feelings all at the same time. That is so incredibly true. Because there have been times, and still right now, present, right now in this moment, I'm really hurt by a particular person in my life, and yet I'm so happy all at the same time. Like if I start to think about this person, I might start to cry, I might get pissed off, and then I see all of you in this room, and I see my colleagues in this room, and I'm just excited. At the same time, you can be extremely happy and extremely depressed. That can happen simultaneously. Have you ever known